Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Talking Shop. We got an interesting for you now. Let's get into it. Okay gang, what we got is a compressor trailer. Belongs to a buddy of mine. Hasn't ran God knows how long. They didn't know, we don't know how or what kind of shape this engine is in, why they stopped using it, but he asked me to take a look at it to see is it worth putting some money in and get it running and having a compressor trailer. So it's powered by an International 196 Slant 4. First thing we're going to do, he did send a battery with it. I'm not a fan of those cables, but for our testing, it'll be just fine. Battery's in the shop on the charger. What we're going to do is I'm going to mark the plug wires. I'm going to pull them off, pull the plugs out. We'll take a look at the plugs, and then we'll do a compression test, and we'll see what kind of shape is this thing in. Is it even worth putting any kind of time in. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to mark the plug wires, pull them off, pull the plugs out, and we'll see what we got. Okay guys, we got the plugs out. They're carboned up, but they don't look all that bad really for the age of the motor. I didn't see a whole lot of excessive oil on them or anything. I'll show you those in a minute. But we got the compression tester in there. I got the battery hooked up. It does roll over, so let's see if we can get you in view here. Well, evidently something's wrong with my, this ain't that old. Evidently something's wrong with my compression gauge. I'm gonna have to take it in the shop and see what's going on. Alright, we had a bad Schrader right now. That one's alright. Cylinder 3 is a little lower than everybody else, but Nothing wrong with that one either. The old girl seems to be in pretty good shape. Cylinder 1, the last one. I got reason to believe she'll run there. Well, it's going to need some carburetor work and everything because this thing hasn't ran in a long time. So next step is I'm going to run my plug. I'm going to run the spark plugs through the blast cabinet, get them cleaned up. We will check for spark. It's not going to run, like I say, it doesn't have any gas in it or anything, so it's not going to run, but we'll turn the key on. We'll check for spark, then we'll put the plugs back in, hook the wires back up, assuming we got spark, and then we'll see if we can get some numbers off that carburetor. Alright guys, I'm back. I had to go look at a tractor with a guy. right. All right, we'll go ahead and run this through the blast cabinet. A little play in the throttle shaft, but for what we're doing, all right, guys, we're back. Body ran through the blast cabinet. I just went out and blew everything out with brake clean and blew down everything yet again. So we're going to start putting this thing back together. Got to blow through this too. It's just a piece of sandpaper. Just doing little figure eights here. Once again, I'm just using a little sandpaper to clean up this button. This is the button that slides in here. Slides nice. Okay. So then we're going to take the new assembly. And the spring for it. I have to get a magnet. Because there's a little ball. That magnet sucks. Fits that like that. And that little ball, so the shaft, where's the old one? The shaft has a groove in it, and you can press the spring and there's a hole in there, and you put that ball in there, and that's what holds it in there. Alright, so this is our accelerator pump. And it fits like that. And we've got our return spring. It's going to fit like that. This is the economizer body. I never did blow this out, so I'm going to go outside and brake clean this, and we'll come back in and we'll blow it out. Got to get a magnetic screwdriver to set these screws. Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so we got the main pump installed. Now we're going to put the main jet back in. Does that main jet have a gasket? It does not. And it doesn't call for one, so we're good. All right, so that's what we were looking at yesterday. Guys, when you're doing these carburetors, taking a picture is worth 1,000. Because I just caught myself in a mistake. I knew that didn't look quite right. This actually has to go up in behind. And this has to face out. So that has to go like that. This has to go like this. Then this has to go from the inside. This has to go up like this. Pull, and then swing on around, and then that goes like that, and that goes like that. That works much better. Beautiful. Put the clip in. That's a beautiful thing, Clark. All right. All right, so we'll clean up the idle adjustment screw next. I'm just going to hit that on the wire wheel. You be real careful with these. They don't bottom in the. We don't want to bottom it. You want to bottom it hard. We want to bottom it so we know where we're at. But you don't want, you want to turn it nice and easy. And when it stops turning, that's where you want to stop. There it is. Alright. So we were about a turn and a half. So there's 1.5 turns back. We'll start there. That's not what I want to do. Okay guys, we're back. I ran the float bowl through the blast cabinet. We're done with the 5/8 wrench. Get that out of the way. So I got my float return spring set. Got the float back in. Now on these little carburetors, the float is real easy. So you're gonna, if you gotta adjust it, you bend that little tab right there, and to adjust it's easy. We just flip it upside down, and you want this surface here to be level with this surface here. So you just want it to be on a level plane. So it's real easy to adjust the float in these. And if you got to tweak it a little bit, you don't bend the float, you bend that little tab that sits up against the needle. So that's done. We can go ahead and put our float bowl on. Oh, we got to put our baffle in. So that sits in like that. That means that little guy is going to go just like that. Put our gasket. And there we go. Alright, gang. Well, we gotta put our choke on too, but that's gonna wrap the carburetor overhaul. I'm gonna go ahead and chase the threads on the studs on the manifold, get this hooked back up, get all of our stuff hooked back up. Still got to come up with a gas tank. I want to come up with a temporary gas tank just to make sure. We'll run it off temporary gas for now. And I want to get got to order one of those in. I need one here anyway for tractors and stuff. So that'll be it. I will get it back on as soon as I get everything on hooked up and we go to start it. We'll bring you back. Okay, gang, we're back out here on the compressor. We got our carburetor back on. I was going to pull the fuel tank out, but the fuel tank won't come out of this opening, and to get all of this sheet metal and stuff off, it's just too much work for what it is. To see, you know, if we absolutely had to, I would, but even if I took the top off, I would have to take the top completely off, and then you're into getting the exhaust out of there because that's bolted to it, and I would have to get the forklift around here and take that top right completely out of there because this piece here stays, so I can't come out this opening. It would literally have to come right straight out the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook, I've got a vacuum evacuator used to use a lot marine, change oil on boats and stuff. I'm going to get that out here, and I'm just going to suck the gas that's in here out, and then I'll have to put some fresh wreck gas in it, and I'll put some gas treatment in it. I got a new filter. We'll put a new fuel filter in it, and I did find I got our new fuel pump on, but this bolt is actually stripped. I don't know if that's why they abandoned the mechanical lift pump. And I'm going to take that back off, and I'm going to see if I can maybe drill and tap that out to 7/16. So that's going to be today's project. I'm going to start with that gas tank. We'll get the top, it's called the top sider. We'll get that out here, and we'll get to sucking the old gas out of her. Okay, gang, we're back. I ended up having to take the fuel tank out. I hooked the top sider to it. I tried to suck the old gas out through the outlet going to the fuel pump. I couldn't get any flow through it. I tried even blowing through it with the blowgun. I couldn't get anything so I ended up having to take the tank out. We went out through the front, and I'll walk you out there in a minute and show you that, but I was just trying to find the so here's the fitting that threads into the tank. I don't know if you can tell, but that baby is gummed right up. And the whole bottom side of the tank was like that. So I ended up having to take it out. I pressure washed it. There's a baffle in there, which it sucks because I can't get in there. What I pressure washed through here and through the fill. What I pressure washed turned out pretty good. I got a lot of stuff out of there. Problem is with that baffle's right about here. Well, you can almost kind of see it, but it's right about here. And of course the outlet's down there in the bottom. I can't get in there with anything to, by rights I should plug that bottom hole and fill this thing about 10 gallons of lacquer thinner and let it sit a week. Eat that stuff out of there. I did end up getting that cleaned out. I can get air through it now, and I've been dumping brake clean down there. It's just gonna have to we're just gonna have to deal with it. Because yeah, unless I plug that off and fill it with lacquer thinner and let it sit and hope that lacquer thinner eats that bad gas out of there, that's all we can do. Come back out here to the compressor. I didn't take the top of it off. We come out through the front. So there's where the tank sits. But yeah, got a lot more screws out than I really want to do on this thing, but I mean, it is what it is. We got to get in there to get her handled right. So next step today, I'm going to finish blowing out that tank and get that set back in there, and hopefully get all the sheet metal on. and we'll run our fuel line, and then we'll see where we end up. If I got enough time, we'll go get some gas. If not, may have to let it wait till middle of the week or maybe even next weekend. So that's going to be today's plan. I'll maybe set up a couple shots and bring you guys along. We'll see if we can get this thing back together. Okay guys, that's a wrap on the compressor project. We took the tank out, pressure washed the tank, got that opened up, all new fuel line. The old fuel line was just gummed up, so I just put new fuel line on it with a new fuel filter, new mechanical fuel pump. The electric fuel pump would no longer pump, it was all gummed up, so I just went ahead and replaced the mechanical fuel pump. Had to drill out the hole in the block for the one mounting bolt hole for the mechanical fuel pump. It was stripped out, so we drilled and tapped it 7/16. Carburetor off, cleaned, rebuilt, put a kit in it, put it back on, replaced a couple of vacuum lines. So that pretty much wraps the compressor. It burns a lot of oil. It's a shame too, because the thing fires right up, alternator charges. Doesn't appear to be any coolant leaks. I put straight water in it. She was smoking pretty bad. I couldn't let it run too long because I was smoking out my neighbors, so I had to shut her down. But carries good compression, so I don't know if we've got a situation where we got some valve guides leaking, or excuse me, some seals leaking, and we got oil running down the valve guides in the cylinder that way. Maybe it just does need an overhaul. I'll let my buddy decide. I can overhaul it for him if he wants to. I'm not going to do that now. I've got some other projects I've got to attend to, but if he wants to bring it back this winter, I'd be more than happy to overhaul it for him. But for now, I'm going to drain the water back out of it. I'm going to tell him come get it, and we'll go from there. So we will see you guys on the next project. I appreciate you joining. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next shop project.